So, for a quick second video already, I want to answer the question, why Seattle? Believe it or not, I didn't actually think about why I chose Seattle. I chose Seattle first, and then figured stuff out about Seattle. Believe it or not, I didn't even realize that, the Dan Savage was from Seattle. I didn't even know all the things I know about Seattle now. I was driving with a friend of mine. Actually, no, I was with a friend of mine at, they were closing down for work, and I was like, I need to leave. And he's like, yes, you do. And he had just met this great guy, and, well, not just met, they'd known each other for a while, and he's moving to DC to live with them, and I was super jealous, and we were talking about how I could just change my life if I wanted to, and I didn't believe him, and I said, okay, we'll play your game. We will play your game. Let's go down a list of cities you think are great. And we went down, and I was like, no. I had all these reasons for everything. And then he was like, well, what about Seattle, Washington? And I was like, that sounds good. And then I was like, but I need backups. And believe it or not, Austin, Texas, and Minneapolis, Minnesota were a couple of the other ones. I didn't want to go to New York. I didn't want to go south. I didn't want to go to Florida or Georgia. I didn't want to go to DC. I didn't want to, I didn't want to go to Chicago. I didn't want to go to anything else. And I didn't want to go to California. I didn't want to deal with those places. And I was like, okay, Seattle. I would go to Seattle. And then, believe it or not, I thought it was a joke. I didn't think anything about it. And then one day I just had a really bad day, and I went to my friend, John, and I said, John, I'm dying. I am suffocating. I can't breathe. I hate all of this. I'm moving to Seattle. And I'm going, and I know, and I told him I knew he wanted to go, I knew he was ready to leave and do all these things, and I said, will you go with me? And he said, can we leave tomorrow? And I said, no, we can't, we have to plan this. I don't have the money to leave tomorrow. I knew I was going, and we planned to tell people who were important, and that coming Wednesday, I told a friend of mine, Mark, who I've not known for that long, but we're really good friends now. We really are, and I couldn't imagine him learning from someone else, or him knowing, because, I don't make friends because it's a fun thing. I make friends because I enjoy people, and I'm honest, and I'm open with them. And I told Mark, because I was afraid that he'd be upset if I didn't tell him, because he wanted to live somewhere for a year, and then, so I presented it this way. I said, I'm moving, and it's to Seattle. It's a big city. You said you want to live in a big city for a year. Once I'm settled in, if you want to still do that, let me know. I'm really sorry. I don't want you to think that I'm just ignoring you with this idea of me just leaving, because, 8 months is a long time to be friends with someone, especially in the gay world, especially dealing with all the stuff that gay men have to deal with, especially here. And Mark said, and it was raining, and Mark says, well, I hope you like this weather. That's just a typical response we'd have. And the next day, he starts talking to me about the weather in Seattle. I'm like, well, that's weird. And then, I talked to him about Seattle, because he wanted to talk to me about it. And it turns out that, he wanted to come too. So, in less than a week, after just wanting to not be here anymore, we chose Seattle. And none of us knew anything about Seattle. And the first thing we find out, it's the Emerald City. What better place for a friend of Dorothy to go than the Emerald City? And then I realized, oh wait, and I tell that to the person I was talking to about the original idea. And his name's Paul. And Paul goes, that's where Dan Savage is from, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I was like, yeah, no, I didn't. And he goes, you did the It Gets Better project, and you did videos, and you did all this community service stuff, and you have no idea where the fuck it originated? And I go, well, sometimes I'm impulsive. And, but hey, apparently it has the best rate of IQs per person, per capita, or per whatever they rate in the US. Second largest queer population, to California cities. And, and maybe I won't get stuck in some gay box that I get stuck in here because of my looks. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's not. But that's not the point. Seattle the move is an idea. It's an adventure. It's time to go and grow up. I'm 25, and I got promoted 3 times in a year at my job. I went from part-time bookseller to a manager of a department, and that wasn't fulfilling enough. That wasn't my life. I don't have had relationships that lasted 2 years, and then 3 years, and it wasn't it. And Seattle is an idea, it's a goal, it's an adventure, and it's a place where you can become more. It's a place where it can get better. And that's just the thing. When you move, when you go, it can get better. You have to take that action. And that's what this is. Seattle became a good choice because we all thought about it. It was like, it's the other side of the country. It's not our family, it's not our friends, it's not our safety or comfort. It's an adventure, and it's what we all need. I mean, John's 23, I'm 25, Mark's 25. We really haven't lived, and they're terrified to be on these videos, so maybe they will, maybe they won't. At least I can maybe get a voice recording. John agreed to that. You did, John. And you'll get to meet them. You'll get to meet a group of insane gay dudes who are going to make their lives better. Actually, Mark might not, because he doesn't want to be outed in any way. Isn't that great? I'm like the only out one, and then we got Mark, who's still someone in the closet, and then we got John, who is terrified of being on this camera and being judged. And here I am, spilling my guts, telling you guys everything. So Seattle, first random, then became the best idea ever. And there's so much I like about it. The geography is amazing. I can't believe people don't appreciate this. I don't even like geography, and I was looking at this, I mean, wow, and it's so close to Canada, I can go visit Canada, never done that. Have to drive through Montana, but it's okay. I can go down to California, it's an easier trip to Texas to meet all you who know me in Texas. Who's like, come to Texas, maybe I will now. So, long story short, oops, Seattle. But, hey, now that I know it's where Dan Savage is, hey, I'm going to meet Dan Savage. One way or another. I don't care what I have to do. It may not be through this little stupid thing I'm doing here, but I plan on being one of the best hardworking queer advocates in Seattle where they actually care. And I'm going to make a fucking difference. And Dan Savage will have no choice but to have me on a show because I'm going to write a fucking book or something. And so I don't care if I meet him accidentally walking and I have my video camera on me. I will get a fucking video with Dan Savage or something. So, alright. Seattle beware.